Hormuz Strait. Hormuz, I believe name is Hormuz. Hormuz Strait. Hormuz Strait is in news nowadays. What is Hormuz Strait? People know there is something called Persian Gulf. Persian Gulf. Okay, that is in Hindi it is called Khadi. Persian Khadi. Faras ki Khadi. Persian Gulf. Very famous Persian Gulf. Very immensely famous Persian Gulf since the history. History is fed with Persian Gulf, and there is a Hormuz Strait. Hormuz Strait means Gulf means what is Gulf? Gulf means a sea region where three sides is land. That is called Gulf. Okay, land region where three side is ocean called peninsula, Arabic peninsula, where three side is ocean. One side is Red Sea, and then two side is Arabian Sea or Arabian Sea, and this side the Persian Gulf. Three side is water, and Saudi Arabia and Yemen is there. This is called the South. This is called peninsula, Saudi Arabia peninsula. But the region where sea is there and all three side is land, it is called Gulf. Okay, Khadi, Gulf. So Persian Gulf is historically very famous, and nowadays these and the country around the Persian Gulf in Hindi it is called Khalis country. Khalis. Khalis means Khali. Khali means no one used to live there earlier. It was a purely desert area, and very few people they used to live there. It is on Khalis country. So Persian Gulf is a Gulf region of ocean that is south to Iran, Iranian eastern western part of the Iran, and it is south to it. The dual river means I should not use these kind of words because these are very pious river, very pious in Indian mythology, and that is Tigris and Tigris River and Farat River. They meet, and after that 100 kilometers they flow together. I forgot the name. What is the name of the river? When after confluence of Tigris and Farat river, one river comes out and the Sangam, and then that river flows through the Persian Gulf only. Very famous Persian Gulf. Around the Persian Gulf, there is a big largest hub of crude oil and natural gas. Means lot of people from India they go and work there in the companies. Those are related to crude oil there. Means khadi ke this, and they go there. They get high salary out there. Anyway, Hormuz Strait. Let's consider how I can describe now. Okay, let's consider this is the Persian Gulf. Persian Gulf is a thin strait. This is this is Arabian Ocean. This is Arabian Ocean, and this is southern part of Iran, and there Arabian Ocean is there. This side land is there, and that is Oman, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen. This is full land. This is a line. Below this, there is a full line, and I should take the longer one. Okay, consider that it is like this. It is like this. This is full land, and this is land. This is ocean, and ocean enters the land through this pass, and then this is full land. This is a gulf because around this water, all side is land. This is a gulf. It enters water, enters like this, and it goes till here. This section is called Persian Gulf because north of it is Iran, and this side little bit Iraq is there, and then Kuwait, and then we have this side as Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and then this side United Arab Emirates and Oman. Okay, and then it comes out. This gulf at this point it is very narrow, and it is narrow up till 39 kilometer only. 39 kilometer narrow is there. Then it becomes little wider if it passes like this. Then it becomes little wider this side. But here it is very narrow. This is called this is called Gormuz Strait. Means from here here it is very little 39 kilometer. Now all around this there is natural oil, crude oil and natural gas mining is going on, wells are there. Now, this region, for before 150 years or 200 years, this region was Khalid's country, means no one used to live there. Okay, there were many ports in Iran side. There are three ports, Bandar Abbas, and two ports are there. Then Kuwait side there is a very famous port, and then port is in the Ras Al Khaimah. So Ras Al Khaimah is a place near which is part of United Arab Emirates, and then this side Oman port is there. Ports were there from which the from other side from China, India, Central Asia, the goods used to come, and from here it used to go to Turkey, Iraq, Syria, and these places from this port. Okay, Iran, western part of Iran. Otherwise, this region was completely empty region. So for God's sake, this region now they found that this region is full of natural crude oil, and crude oil is in use right nowadays. Means that is the lifeline of countries now. Without motorcycle, no one goes. Earlier, people used to use horse to go from one location to another location. Now people use now motorbike. So these are rich area now. Now why Hormuz stress? This small thin region, 39 kilometers, it is in news nowadays. Now with the war that is going on between Iran and Israel, and then Iran and United States, Iran has threatened to close the Hormuz Strait. Hormuz Strasse or Hormuz Strait, that Iran will close it down. Means it will put ship out there or whatever, and it will close down. If I see this Strait little closely, okay, if this is Hormuz Strait, and if I see it closely, the northern part of it, where it comes out to Arabian Sea, this part up till here, more or less, it is Oman. Okay, and this side means half of it. If I divide it half, then half top half is Iran, and bottom half it is Oman, and this side United Arab Emirates. But if ship is coming from here carrying the natural crude oil from Bahrain or from from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, then it will pass through Iranian side. Then it will descend. While descending, it will pass through Oman, and then again it will come to Iranian side, and then it will come to Arabian Sea. More or less, when it comes, first it ship goes to Iranian side, then little bit it comes to Omanian side of the sea, then again Iranian side, and then it will come to Arabian Sea. Now Iran is saying that it is going to close its port, because since it belongs to Iran, Iran can do anything. So it is going to close it, means no ship can pass through Iranian side. Means the all crude oil that is coming from this section, means that will not pass through. Okay, and that will create a lot of trouble in the world. Anyway, what is the past of this Persian Gulf or Hormuz? There is a island called Hormuz out there. There used to be village there. Hormuz. This all falls in Indian subcontinent. Hormuz used to be village earlier, and these port they were receiving masala. Masala means spices, and then from India and from China, whatever they could get, and from Central Asia, like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan. There is a valley out there, and lot of almond production is there. Worldwide, topmost almond production that comes under dry fruit. Those businessmen, they were bringing this almond to the like kind of Pakistan and these places, and from there they were transporting it through the Persian Gulf, through the Hormuz Strait to the ports, and from there almond used to go to Turkey, Iraq, Syria, and those places. That was the use of this Persian Gulf. But after the kind of uh, finding of the exploration of the natural crude oil and natural gas, people are converting natural gas to liquefied natural gas. Okay, they liquefy it, natural gas, they liquefy it, and they transport like that. So liquefied natural gas of crude oil, now that is now the primary ship they are carrying. Now we have a data that what is the effect of Hormuz Strait if Iran is closing it, Hormuz Strait, what will happen to the world? Anyway, Nowadays, crude oil are being produced by United States also. United States earlier it was completely dependent upon these kind of reason for the crude oil. Now crude oil is being produced by Russia also. Russia export crude oil. I don't know United States export crude oil or not, but it is considered as the highest crude oil producer in the world. United States right now. This is what is considered. I mean, they have a lot of crude oil kind of reserve in United States. Lot of countries they are producing crude oil. So what is the status right now in the scenario that I have data for it? Okay, so it is called Hormuz Strait. Hormuz Strait is a section where this Persian Gulf comes out and it meets the Arabian Sea. And this stretch is 160 kilometer long and wide what we see. It is 97 kilometer to 39 kilometer. So it is like a chicken neck. Chicken neck means there it is very little and that Iran is trying to close now so that people will get affected and they will think that Iran is not a country to attack on to be attacked on. So that is what Iran is doing. Now Iran in their parliament this law is already this resolution is already passed. Now it is up to the Islamic supremo leaders that they have to pass. Once they pass it, then this will be closed. Anyway, what is the scenario of this? The crude oil and natural gas produced by Iran, Kuwait, or Iraq, and then Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and Oman. Whoever the oil around it, what is the effect of the world that will happen? 30% of the world liquefied natural gas and 20% of global oil, crude oil, it passes through the Hormuz Strait only. That much it will affect. If I see Asia, the primarily industrial countries in Asia who use India is not an industrial country, but it uses, means government is promoting to use petroleum gas because they are selling at very high price in India. So India import lot of petroleum from petroleum. China imported, okay, and then South Korea. There is a news that Australia is also getting the crude oil from here only, from the Persian Gulf region. Anyway, now if I see this side, then it is like okay, if I see the kind of Asia, then how much it is? 84% of oil that goes to Asia, 84%, 84% of the Asia, East Asia, Asia need, whatever Asia need the oil, 84% of it passes through this strait only. 84% of oil, I'm sorry, 84% of the oil that is passing through this strait is going to Asia. Means Asian countries are heavily, deeply dependent upon this strait. Means India, China, and South Korea, they will start suffering a lot if Iran is closing this Hormuz Strait. 84% of the crude oil that is passing through this region goes to Asia. Anyway, 20% of the worldwide crude oil goes through 20%, goes through this pass only. And 30% of the 30% of the liquefied natural gas of worldwide consumption goes through this pass only. Means if I talk about Eastern Asia, more or less they get their crude oil from here only. So if it is 20% of the worldwide. Anyway, Kuwait, Iraq, Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, okay, Saudi Arabia, their oil is being loaded on the ship and passes through the Hormuz Strait only. Anyway, that is the scenario. In Iran, there is a nearby island inside this Persian Gulf to the Hormuz Island is another island called Kisham Island, United Arab Emirates, Ras Al Khaimah, and in Oman, it is Musandam Peninsula. Musandam Peninsula is there that is near to the Hormuz Strait. Anyway, these are the scenario. Okay, if we talk about the kind of Who owns this Hormuz Strait? Okay, theoretically, practically it is owned by Iran and Oman, but theoretically it is owned by United Nations Convention of Law and Law of the Sea. They own this UNCLOS, means they own the station because economically or trade wise it is highly important. So United Nations, it controls it more or less. Means there will be a fight between UNCLOS and Iran. It is not that straightforward. Iran will close it. Anyway, United States Navy Fifth Fleet, it is stationed in the Bahrain in order to safeguard it. So Bahrain, that is a country, is more or less it is into Persian Gulf. Their United States Fifth Fleet Navy Battalion, it is stationed there to save it. That no one should close this. Okay, that is the real life scenario. Around $14.2 million, $14.2 million of the crude oil passes per day from this station. Okay, and 5.9 million barrel of other natural, means liquefied natural gas, 5.9 million barrel per day, and 14.2 million barrel crude oil per day. It passes through the Hormuz Strait. Anyway, this is the scenario. India consumes around 5 million barrel of crude oil per day. 5 million barrel crude oil per day. Where China consumes more or less 12 million barrel crude oil per day. Because China's industrial need is very high. Anyway, what is another scenario here is more than half of the oil consumption of East Asia passes through this strait. 20% of the oil consumption of the worldwide passes through this strait. Whatever passes through this strait, 84% are used by East Asia, India, China, or whatever. So this is the scenario. Anyway, if we talk about the China, then China buys 90% of the crude oil and natural gas of the Iran. If Iran export natural gas and crude oil, 90% are being purchased by China only, and it is passes through here only. So China buys 1.3 million barrel crude oil from Iran, and that passes through here only. 1.6 million barrel crude oil from Saudi Arabia, it passes through here only. Anyway, that is the scenario of the China. Okay, if we talk about India, then 2.1 million barrel, it is around 50%. So 4.2 million barrel or 5 million barrel is the India need per day. So 2.1 million barrel of the crude oil for India, it passes through this strait. For South Korea, 1.7 million barrel oil passes through this strait. That is 68% of the South Korean need. That is also industrial hub. For Japan, it is 1.6 million barrel oil or liquefied natural gas. It passes through this way. Thailand and Philippines together 2 million barrel per day. Not only that, European Union and United States, they also get from here 0.5 million barrel per day. European gets, and United States get zero point 0.4 million barrel per day from this state. Anyway, now if I talk about the ports, then for Iran there is a port called Bandare Mugua, one port, another is Bandar means port, Bandare Lenge, and Bandar Abbas. There are three ports around the Persian Gulf, and the very famous port from the Kuwait, historical port, and that is Al Hordah. Al-Fordah, Al-Fordah port of the Kuwait. Now that is along the Persian Gulf only. These are the ancient ports, and they were used to have trade with Central Asia. There is a valley in the Uzbekistan, I believe, Fargana Valley of Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan, along the Sir River, and that is the production of the of the almond, so or Indian spices and these, they used to come to the Al Fardo port of the Kuwait earlier, and from there it used to go to Basra and those kind of city in Iraq, and that was the historical use of this Persian Gulf. Now only crude oil and liquefied petroleum gas. Okay, China has urged Iran not to close this strait. But anyway, when United States has announced a ceasefire, okay, there are violations that is going on, but still, announcement is announcement. So then I believe Iran would reconsider when it is thinking about closing this strait. I believe everything would be all right.